cameras supposedly malfunctioning? That was the original story, that the cameras were malfunctioning. Now they're saying, no, we got the video. What? They magically work years later. So, but watch this. Watch this. 1 minute is missing from the Epstein security phone.
Oh.
So, watch this. So, 11:58:57, and then it goes right to 12. So, spoiler alert, no Epstein files, but here's what Donald Trump said originally about them.
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah. I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world.
Well, Elon Musk says time to drop the really big bomb. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day. Mark this post for the future. The truth will come out. That's what Elon Musk said. Guess what? Breaking. President Trump's Department of Justice and FBI conclude Epstein had no client list and committed suicide. That's real. Remember when J.D. Vance said this? Remember when we learned that our wealthiest and most powerful people were connected to a guy who ran a literal child sex trafficking ring? And then that guy died mysteriously in a jail, and now we just don't talk about it? He said that in 2021. Well, guess what now? Now, nope, nothing to see here. Don't talk about it. Nothing to talk about, nothing to see. Even though they've been talking about it for years and years, now when they're in power, nothing to see here. Show's over. Go home, folks. President Trump, they have no evidence that convicted sex offender and disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein blackmailed powerful figures, kept a client. There's no evidence that he had a client list or was murdered. No evidence. According to a memo detailing the findings obtained by Axios, the administration is releasing a video, get this, in both raw and enhanced versions that it says indicates no one entered the area at the Manhattan prison where Epstein was held that night he died in 2019. The video supports a medical examiner's findings that Epstein died by suicide. He broke his own neck, is what they're saying. Here's the video. Guess what? There's a minute missing from the video. Department of Justice releases 10 hours of surveillance footage claiming no one entered Epstein's cell before his death. Weren't the cameras supposedly malfunctioning? That was the original story, that the cameras were malfunctioning. Now they're saying, no, we got the video. What? They magically work years later. So, but watch this. Watch this. 1 minute is missing from the Epstein security phone.
Oh.
So, watch this. So 11:58:57, and then it goes right to 12. It just jumps. 11, boom. The findings represent the first time Trump's administration has officially contradicted conspiracy theories about Epstein's activities and his death. Theories that have been pushed by the FBI's top two officials before Trump appointed them to the Bureau. That'd be Dan Bongino and Kash Patel. A social media influencers and activist, Kash Patel and Dan Bongino were among those in MAGA world who questioned the official version of how Epstein died. Patel and Bongino have since said Epstein killed himself, but it has become an article of faith online, especially on the right, that Epstein's crimes also implicated government officials, celebrities, business leaders, and that someone killed him to conceal. That's not on the right. That's anybody with a thinking brain. What do you think Jeffrey Epstein was doing? He was running a blackmail operation. What do you think he was doing? Sex trafficking, children. What do you think he was doing with Prince Philip? Was that what his name was, Prince Philip? Which prince was it that got in trouble?
Yeah, hold on.
The memo says no one else involved in the Epstein case will be charged. Epstein's associate, Maxwell, is serving
Prince
20...
Andrew.
What's that?
Prince Andrew.
Prince Andrew. For sex trafficking and related... of course, she's in jail for 20 years for sex trafficking people to no one. She trafficked kids to no one. Who are the people she trafficked them to? That's what people want. According to the memo, investigators closely examined footage of Epstein's Manhattan prison.
Shalom.
Before I begin this lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and the glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishop of Great Millstone that rule well, and peace and blessing be multiplied on all you brethren teaching his word in all sincerity and in truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect, 144,000, and the rest of the elect that will receive mercy from the Lord. I'm the brother Dama Agabar, here with another lesson, Lord willing to edify through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Yahweh Shai. And man, oh man, you can just see the wicked at work, man. And you see, and this is why, you know, we can't wait for our Lord and Savior Yahweh Shai HaMashiach to return, because this is the only way that these elites, that the wicked, that Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, is going to ultimately get his true righteous judgment. It's only going to come from Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. Scriptures tell you that this devil is never going to hold himself accountable or guilty for his actions. And this is just plainly, you know, these people are blatantly in your face showing you just how full of shit that they truly are, and just how they're able to just sweep their crimes right under the rug, man. All right. And you got Trump, you know, is, you know, like we've been saying, man, all these devils are guilty, man. They're all guilty. They're all a bunch of pedos. They're Luciferians. They're child sex traffickers. They're pedophiles. They're rapists, and all of the above, man. And now, you know, they're about to, you know, basically get off scot-free. When everybody knows that they're fucking guilty. Everybody knows what Epstein was doing. Everybody knows that Bill Gates and all of these celebrities, these entertainers, these well-to-do bankers, all of the wealthy, you know, of these, you know, of this society were all on those flight logs, man. All right. And now you got Trump and his administration coming out and saying, well, he didn't have a list. It was all fake. It didn't exist. There's no evidence of it, which is a complete and utter lie. And this is why I said in the video I did yesterday that now these devils are in a position to where, you know, they can just come out and be who the hell they really are. The wicked, a bunch of liars, you know, corrupters, thieves, murderers, rapists, perverts, Satanists, you know, child sex traffickers, and all of the above, man. And now they're, you know, basically insulting your intelligence by telling you that the Epstein files were non-existent. It was all made up. It didn't exist. But well, then why the hell did you throw them in jail? You know, they had all this footage, thousands of terabytes of footage. But in this article I got, they said, oh, no, he just downloaded porn. It wasn't anybody on those tapes, which is the fucking lie, man. They know that Bill Clinton, a lot of these higher ups, you know, Prince Andrew, you know, the Bill Gates, the Clintons, all type of people were on these Epstein videos and files. And they were all known to be on those flight logs, man. We're showing you that this man is completely the wicked that the Bible speaks of. Let's get another one. Listen to your guy, Trump. Remember, it's showing you how much of a hypocrite he is. Remember, she asked him, would you declassify the Epstein files? He said, yeah. Now watch this. Look at his sentiment now.
I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that. Also, to the tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child porn is what they were. Never going to be.
See, look, it was only child porn. That's a fucking lie, man. They know what those what was on those videos, and what and the players that were involved in the fucking videos, man. It's everybody knows, man. But you see how the devil operates. You see how he's able to hold himself not guilty, man. You see, you know, but here it is. He got Diddy all up in a court trying to get him for child sex trafficking and all type of other things. Not trying to say that Diddy is not a wicked individual and he's not guilty of doing bullshit, because he is. But just shows you that, look, like the elders and apostles and brothers been telling you, what Esau tries to convince Jacob being, he does it on the grandest, a global scale, man. All right. This dude is a monster. He's an animal. He's a beast. He's a liar, and every other, you know, form of wickedness and the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. And I'm happy this is happening, so people can finally wake up to the fact that, you know, this man is the damn devil, and he is never to be trusted. You can never believe anything that comes out of his lips, because it's all going to be a lie. It's not going to be Salakia, you know? This man's the damn devil and a liar, man. A blatant liar. And this little, see, this show you the white woman, she's a goddamn liar too. Because you got this Pam Bondi broad. She's on here literally just lying to lying to you American people, man. Literally lying. You can tell in her body language that, you know, she's lying, man. None of these motherfuckers can be trusted. And like I told you, they've all been brought and paid for by these elites to do their biddings, man. Now listen to Trump.
Be released, never going to see the light of day. To him being an agent, I have no knowledge about that. We can get back to you on that. And the minute missing from the video, we released the video showing definitively the video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release.
You see how these motherfuckers can just lie, man? These people are the wicked. They don't have no soul. They have no conscience, man. They're absolutely diabolical, man. And you can tell she's just winging it. You can tell she's been coached to say this shit. It's just all bullshit, and it's all lies, and these people are the damn devil. Now let's hear Trump.
Release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night. And that's it on Epstein.
Oh, no, that ain't the one. Where is it? No, where's the other one I saw? Oh, that shit ain't there? They had another one where Trump was like, we're still talking about this guy. It's over. Let me see if I refresh it. Where the fuck that video go? And I don't even look like Trump. I look like a fucking clone. But anyways, yo, where's that one, man? Oh, is it?
Yeah, sure. If I
Did I just interrupt?
Sure.
There we go.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this where we're having some of
But
the...
anyway, see, this is what they do. They're trying to stop this Epstein shit from ever being talked about again. They're trying to bury it. They're trying to sweep it under the rug, man, because they know they're fucking guilty. That's why I said, hey, it's not. That's why Yahweh Shai, we're hastening the return of Yahweh Shai, man, because this is the only way this devil is truly going to be judged. He's truly going to be righteously judged for all of his wickedness and all of his bullshit, man. All right. And look it down here. I'm going to go straight down here to the thing, right? It says, this person says, I literally feel sick right now after waiting for years for the truth about Epstein's sex trafficking operation to come out. And after months of being promised that stunning new information would be released soon, now we're being told to forget the entire thing. The people that were brought in to run the Justice Department and the FBI were supposed to restore faith in the system, but instead they are destroying it. Nobody can think rationally is buying the lies that we are being fed. You see? It says, apparently we're supposed to believe that Jeffrey Epstein didn't have a client list. He never blackmailed anyone, and he was solely responsible for his own death. Okay, man. All right, but let's get down here to the point. It says, it got 10 things, right? It says, number one, why were Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell arrested and charged with operating an enormous sex trafficking ring that supposedly involved thousands of clients if no such clients ever existed? So that means by what they're saying, then that broad should be released out of jail because she never trafficked anybody. Well, why is she in jail? Where's all the evidence? Where's all the files? Where's all the shit that they supposedly got when they raided this guy's houses? Because we know why. Because of the major players that were implicated and that was visiting this island all the damn time. Even one of those, what's that one dude named Ehud Barak, one of those individuals over there in the land of Israel. He was on those flight logs flying on private jets over a dozen times, man. And he wasn't the only one. Like I said, the Clintons, all of these celebrities, the Prince Andrews, a lot of these so-called super wealthy, these elites, they were all flying to that island, engaging in this bullshit, man, and this wickedness. And that's why, hey, how about Shimmy Howard? Matter of fact, let me get this real fast. See if I can get this one. I know it's somewhere. Yep, here we go. Psalms 15:3. It says, "The eyes of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, are in every place, beholding the evil and the good." You see? Hey, so, like I said, that's why it's only until Yahweh Shai comes back and righteously judge this asshole is he's going to finally get his true judgment. Because, like I said, he can lie to the public. He can hide information. He can sweep his wickedness and his deeds under the rug. He can, plead the fifth. He can have plausible deniability, and he could find himself not guilty. But guess what? In the eyes of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai and the angels who are always watching, who are monitoring and keeping track of everything, hey, your time is coming, man. Anyways, number 2, it says, why did U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi, that was that blonde-haired broad that was lying, tell Fox News in February that the Epstein client list was sitting on my desk right now to review, if no client list ever existed? Yep. It says, number 3, what was in the thousands of documents related to the Epstein case that were suddenly discovered in February? Attorney General Pam Bondi has been made aware of thousands of documents related to the investigation into the Epstein that were previously not disclosed to her office, she said in a letter on Thursday. Bondi claimed that Epstein flight logs would make you sick in March. What did she mean by that? Attorney General Bondi released hundreds of pages of information connected to Epstein in March, promising it would disclose a lot of names and flight logs that would make you sick. But now all of a sudden she's saying those things didn't exist. It was nothing honest. Show you how these motherfuckers just lie, man. You see, this is the wicked, man, and this is what they do. It says, in May, Bondi confessed that there were tens of thousands of videos related to the Epstein investigation. What was in those videos? Well, now she said that it was only downloaded child porn, which we know is a fucking lie, man. It says she said in May that the FBI was reviewing tens of thousands of videos with children or child porn. Bondi comments and the delay in releasing the next batch of documents have tapped into suspicions that damaging details about Epstein or other prominent figures remain hidden. And that's what it's ultimately all about, to protect these sickos, these perverts, these people of power, these politicians, these mayors, these royal family, these Saudis, these Saudi princes. All of them was engaging in a lot of this bullshit. A lot of in the faces that you would, if you saw, you would recognize, man. You see, and Musk said even Trump was there. You see. So hey, all these motherfuckers is guilty. They all nasty. And that's why I say, hey, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai knows, man. And that's why, at the time appointed, his judgment is going to come. Let me see, whatever. It says the memo that was released on Sunday night says that there will be no further disclosure in this case. Does this mean that the Trump administration's search for the truth ends here? Absolutely. Because there's too many major players that can be implicated within this wickedness, so they don't want the public to know. They're going to just sweep it under the rug, as the devil would do. You see? It says a memo published by Axio Sunday night, FBI jointly stated that the Epstein files did not include a client list or evidence of additional perpetrators, and that there will be no further disclosure of information on the case. You see? The memo also states that there is no evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties. Does this mean that none of the men that were having sex with underage girls will ever be brought to justice? That's exactly what it means, man. Exactly what he means. This man's the devil, man. But let it be a so-called Negro, Latino, or Native American. Hey, they would investigate. They would, bring out all the dirt and find your ass guilty and throw you under the fucking jail. But it's all good, though. Hey, this is what the devil is supposed to be doing. But like I said, hey, his day is coming, man. He can only get away with this shit for so long before Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is going to pluck his right hand from out of his bosom, and the Lord's going to act, man. You see? It says, then he got the whole jail tape. We saw that, how the fucking video skipped a whole fucking minute. Hey, and a minute is more than enough to go in there and to break somebody's neck. I can tell you that right now. Look at it. It says the victim of Epstein trafficking operation are never going to get any justice. All of the very sick men that committed unspeakable crimes are never going to be held accountable. A line has been crossed that will never be able to be uncrossed. How are we supposed to have faith in our federal law enforcement agencies? Well, you can't, because now they've been brought and paid for, and they're about to be used against all of you American people. Now they're about, like I said in my previous videos, now they're about to start deeming all of you American people as terrorists and enemies until, proven otherwise. Meanwhile, the ones that are pointing the finger and the ones that are getting off scot-free are the biggest, murderers and rapists and perverts and enemies and criminals, But it is what it is. But let me get a couple of these precepts, and I'm going to close this out. This is Psalm 73, verse 1. It says, 73 and 1. I'll read it in the NLT. A psalm of Asaph. It says, truly the Most High is good to Israel, to those who have pure hearts, which is the elect. It says, but as for me, I almost lost my footing. My feet were slipping and I was almost gone, for I envied the proud when I saw them prosper despite their wickedness. And this is what we're witnessing with this whole Epstein shit being thrown under the rug, man. You see, and this is why a lot of Jake think it's cool to be on Esau's side, because they think they're going to get the same, treatment. They think they're going to get the same, pardons and the same, ability to do all of this wickedness and have it swept under the rug. No, if you Jake get involved in this shit and you do it, he's going to make you the fall guy, man. Esau's going to somehow, some way renege on whatever promises and deals and that covenant of death that you may have, made with this damn devil. But when it comes to him, of course, he's always going to get off scot-free. He's always going to make it to where he slips through the cracks. He doesn't have to be held accountable to his actions, or he's above the law. But you Jakes are going to always be held accountable for your actions and your crimes when he is ready to roll on you, man. It says they seem to live such painless lives. Their bodies are so healthy and strong. They don't have trouble like other people. They're not plagued with problems like everyone else. Right. Because if anybody else had been, charged with these heinous crimes, hey, they're not going to just dismiss it. They're not going to, have all of this evidence on you and then somehow, some way just make it disappear. No, hey, they're going to penalize you to the fullest extent of the law, and they'll slander you. They'll throw your name under the mud. They'll paint you as a villain, as the most wickedest person to ever have lived, worse than Hitler. But these devils was doing snuff films and doing all of this wickedness, had their own private sex islands, freak off islands, child sex trafficking islands. And they tell you that these intelligence agencies, they're in charge of all of the wickedness. They're in charge of all the big crime. So supposedly they can control it. All right. They're the biggest child sex traffickers, but they'll blame it on the cartels. They'll blame it on this. They'll blame it on that when they're involved in all of it, man. And they're the biggest recipients and the biggest users of it, man. This man's completely vile, man. It says they don't have troubles like other people. They are not plagued with problems like everyone else. They wear pride like a jeweled necklace and clothe themselves with cruelty. You see? This is the devil, Esau, Edom. It says these fat cats have everything their hearts could ever wish for. They scoff and speak only evil. And this whole situation that they were doing, what Trump was saying in that meeting, is all evil. All right, the little blonde hair Bondi broad, it's all evil. The FBI, the DOJ, all of these intelligence agencies, hey, they're all evil, man. They only speak evil and lie, you see, and manipulate and twist and all type of wickedness, man. See, and this is why such a brutal judgment is coming upon these liars, man. It says they scoff and speak only evil. And you heard Trump scoffing. And we still talking about Epstein. Well, why the fuck you think people are still talking about him? Because you said you were going to release information. You said you was going to drain the swamp. You said these people were going to go down, and now they're getting off scot fucking free. And all of the victims, all of the children, the babies, the underage girls, even the adults, and everybody that was tore up by these, by your doings, they ain't never going to get justice. Because this is not a system of justice, man. It's a corrupt system, especially for those at the top, especially for these rich, like I said, these fat cats, man. It says they scoff and speak only evil. In their pride, they seek to crush others. They boast against the very heavens, and their words strut throughout the earth. Right. They're in their mind, they're like, look, not even the Most High is going to get us for this. But you're wrong. You know, hey, the Lord has a day set to where the triumphing of the wicked is going to be short. It's going to come to an end, and it's going to be met with great judgment and fire and death from Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai upon you devils, man. It says, and so the people are dismayed and confused, drinking in all their words. It says, what does the Most High know? They ask. Does the Most High even know what's happening? Like I read in that Psalms, man. Hey, the Lord is watching everything. The Lord sees everything. He knows what you devils are up to. And he's just letting you build your tab of wickedness until the time appointed where, hey, it's going to come to an end, man. It says, look at all these wicked people enjoying a life of ease while their riches multiply. Right. And all these individuals that was involved in this heinous nastiness, they're still getting richer each and every day. They ain't thinking about going to jail. They ain't thinking about being prosecuted. They ain't thinking of having this shit about them being brought to the light that's going to smear their name and their reputation and their families. No, they're going to get off scot-free, and they're going to continue to indulge in this wicked and the adrenochrome and, making more and more money, establishing themselves. It's crazy, man. All right. It says, did I keep my heart pure for nothing? Did I keep myself innocent for no reason? And this, if you're simple, this is how you'll feel. I've been trying to do it. But here in this society, you doing it the right way and you being upright, you being righteous and doing things the right way, it's not going to really profit you here in a wicked, corrupt society. You have to get your hands dirty. You got to be involved in this shit in a wicked society if you want to reap the benefits, of this world. And sometimes it seems like, you doing right. It really doesn't have any benefit. You're still losing. You're still on the bottom. You're still broke. You still can't, get any notoriety because this is not a righteous society. But in the world to come, righteousness is going to have its reward. It's going to have its rightful place in a righteous world. But here, since we're in this wicked world, only wickedness and bowing down and selling out and getting involved with these creatures will benefit you, That's why he said, did I keep my heart pure for nothing? Did I keep myself innocent for no reason? So niggas be like, a lot of Jake be in the spirit of, well, shit, fuck, if you can't beat them, join them. Shit, I'm trying to do the right thing, serve the Lord. And nigga, I'm still broke. I'm still catching hell. But if I was to sell out and go Esau's route, I'll have money, hoes, clothes, and riches. I'll have fame. I'll have this. I'll have that. But at the same time, you're going to lose your soul. You're going to have to do things that's going to ultimately defile your soul and basically lead you down a path of certain death. But hey, at least for the moment, you felt like you was really on, man. But it's all fleeting, man. It's all just a temporary situation. And Esau is about to figure this out. It says, I get nothing but trouble all day long. Every morning brings me pain. If I had really spoken this way to others, I would have been a traitor to your people. You see? So I tried to understand why the wicked prosper, but what is a difficult task it is. Well, we understand why the wicked is prospered because the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. All right. Esau's in his he's in his element. He's in his rulership. He's doing the duty that he was created to do by Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. You see, but like I said, and you read Job, it tells you that the triumphing of the wicked is short. And we see Esau's end drawing nigh. You see the Lord speeding up the times. I think today is supposed to be one of the fastest days on earth. And if you look at it from a spiritual standpoint, it's just showing us that the Lord is speeding up the times. He's hastening to take this devil out. So it's better to just wait patiently for Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai than to look to try to save your lives for this little bit of temporary time that this this kingdom has left. This place is literally circling the drain, and Esau is being exposed on levels that he never has before. This is why he's coming down with great wrath. This is why he's moving the way that he's moving, because he knows within his spirit he has but a short time. Hey, and that's good for us. It says, then I went into your sanctuary, O Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and I finally understood the destiny of the wicked. So it's like, you see this, it's hilarious, but at the same time, we know what Esau's end is ultimately going to be, that the wicked is not going to, this is not going to be forever, man. He's not going to continuously keep getting away with this shit. And when you really look at it in a spiritual sense, you got to understand, in the sight of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, it's only been about a couple of days that Esau has been in power. But us being here as mortals and being in this world, it seems like it's just dragging out and taking forever. But in the eyes of the Most High, it's only been a few days that Esau has been doing this shit. And he's getting ready to be taken out in 1 hour, man. So Esau, just keep on doing what you're doing. It says, verse 18, truly you put them on a slippery path and send them sliding over the cliff to destruction. Yep, it says, in an instant they are destroyed, completely swept away by terrors. When you arise, O Lord, you will laugh at their silly ideas as a person laughs at dreams in the morning, you see? And this is what Esau has coming, man. And like I said, in these last days, he's just going to continue to expose Esau more and more. He's going to continue to do blatant wickedness until Yahweh Shai cracked those clouds, man. And it's coming to an end for this devil. It says, then I realized that my heart was bitter and I was all torn up inside. I was so foolish and ignorant. I must have seemed like a senseless animal to you. Yet I still belong to you. You hold my right hand. You guide me with your counsel, leading me to a glorious destiny. Whom have I in heaven but you? I desire you more than anything else on earth. And this is why our faith is totally in Yahweh Shem Yahushai. We understand that Esau's end is drawing nigh. And hey, and the Lord got something cold for this damn devil. All right. This is Jeremiah 50 and 34. It says, I'll start here. It says, I read here, Jeremiah 50 and 35, a sword is upon the Chaldeans. And who is the modern day Chaldeans? Esau, Edom, these wise men. You know, these technocrats, this system that Trump is allowing to be put in power. You know, these intelligence agencies, all of these, sorcerers and witchcrafts and the wise men of these days. Hey, a sword is upon these devils, man. But first, the Lord has to expose them with the spirit of his mouth. And then with the power of Yahweh Shai's coming, hey, that's when this devil is going to be judged. It says, a sword is upon the Chaldeans, saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and upon the inhabitants of Babylon, and upon her princes, and upon her wise men. Yeah, all these individuals that was in those Epstein files that's getting off scot-free, hey, they're not going to get away. A sword is upon these devils from Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. It says, a sword is upon the liars. See, who's the father of lies? This damn devil Esau, Edom. He was a liar from the beginning, going back to his forefather, the serpent in the garden, and Cain. And they shall dote. And that word dote means to make yourself foolish, man. Let me look up this word. And this is what you saw in those few clips that I showed you with Trump and that Bondi broad. It says the word is Ya'al. It says to become fools, to act foolishly, to show wicked folly. To show wicked folly, to become fools, man. And that's what they've become. A bunch of damn fools, man. And they're making themselves looking like fools with this whole situation. It says, a sword is upon her mighty men, and they shall be dismayed. Right, his military shit. And now you can group these intelligence agencies in part of the military because they're being militarized to wage war against you people, against the American citizens, man. And a sword is upon all of these devils, man. A sword is upon their horses and upon their chariots and upon all the mingled people that are in the midst of her, and they shall become as women. A sword is upon her treasures, and they shall be robbed. That's why I had that James the 5th chapter. You know, woe to you rich men. You know, your gold and your silver is cankered. You know, hey, the Lord is getting ready to get at these devils, man. And we're seeing that everything that Esau has ever gotten, it was all through rape, robbery, lies, mischief, robbery, deceit, murder, etc., etc. And there's a sword being brought upon it, which is the judgment of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. It says, a drought is upon her waters, and they shall be dried up, for it is the land of graven images, and they are mad upon their idols. Ultimately talking about America, Babylon the Great, and everything that stems from it. Therefore the wild beasts of the desert with the wild beasts of the island shall dwell there, and the owl shall dwell therein, and it shall be no more inhabited forever, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation. Because why? The Lord is going to bring this nuclear destruction upon Babylon the Great. Read Revelation the 18th chapter. As God overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighboring cities thereof, saith Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, so shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man dwell there. Because what? The Lord's going to bring this third world war and these nuclear missiles upon Babylon the Great. We're going to bring Russia, in the midst to judge this devil. It says, behold, a people shall come from the north, which is what? The Russians, a great nation, and many kings shall be raised up from the coast of the earth, and they shall hold the bow and the lance, and that's symbolic of the missiles. They are cruel and will not show mercy. Their voice shall roar like the sea, and they shall ride upon horses, every one put in array like a man to the battle against thee, O daughter of Babylon. And this is going to take place during this Third World War. And this is the sword that is upon all of the liars and upon Esau, Edom, and this American system, the rape, the robbery, the murder, these intelligence agencies, all of the bullshit is going to be met with this nuclear destruction headed by Russia, China, and these other nuclear capable nations. It says, the king of Babylon have heard the report of them, and his hands waxed feeble. Anguish took hold of him, and pangs as a woman of travail. You see? Because it's basically going to lead to the destruction of Babylon the Great. Right, let me jump down here to 45. It says, therefore hear ye the counsel of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, that he have taken against Babylon, or America, and his purposes that he have purposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Well, we know this. At least the flock shall draw them out, which is those small hats, with the situation going on over there with Russia and Iran, is going to ultimately lead to this Third World War, man. So, hey, man, this devil is, he's out of there, man. And this is just the results of this wicked, filthy, nasty society and the wickedness of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. So, hey, man, this devil day is coming, man. This dude's just a damn hypocrite and a liar. Hey, and Yahweh Bashim, and his days are numbered, man. So with that, Lord willing, this is edifying. Until the next one, shalom.